Good evening and welcome. It's the final match of the 2022 TikTok Women's Six Nations. Scotland have travelled to Belfast to take on Ireland, looking to secure their first win of their campaign. With me for this one are two former Scotland stars, Megan Kennedy and Colin Gregor. We'll get some expert analysis from them both shortly. But first, let me hand you over to your commentary team, who tonight are Thomas Duncan and Heather Lockhart.
Thank you, Laura. Good evening. As before we get underway, rugby will take its stand against racism and also show its support for the people of Ukraine. Here is the moment for the people of Ukraine. Now we'll have a moment's silence in memory of Claire Hopp, who was a member of the first Ireland women's rugby team and featured in the inaugural international against Scotland. She was also the auntie of Helen Nelson, the Scotland back.
And played in our first internationals against Scotland in 1993. Our thoughts and prayers are with her family and friends at this time. Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gents.
And on we go then to the, I'm sure what will be a rousing rendition of the anthems. First up, it will be Flower of Scotland. Good to see so many travelling fans over in Belfast. Now for the home team, the anthem of Ireland. The anthem's done. The action nears. Ireland's big news for them. Sam Monaghan returns in the second row after a calf injury kept her out of the England game. She was arguably their best player in the first 3 rounds. The pack, other than that, she replaces Aoife McDermott. Other than that, the pack is unchanged. With the backline already missing 5 starters due to Sevens commitments, injury to fly half Nicole Cronin and winger Emer Considine have added further strain for Ireland. It means Vicky Irwin wins her first cap at fullback, and Nikki Cogger-Orr plays for Ireland for the first time in 3.5 years. Head coach Brian Eason feels the same side which lost to Italy last week and said it allows the players to right some of the wrongs from the second half in Parma. Against the physical Irish back row, the power of Evie Gallagher will be crucial once again. Fullback Chloe Rowley scored the crucial last-minute try against Ireland on Scotland's run to the World Cup and will look to add to her tally of 2 tries in the Six Nations so far. Sarah Law continues at fly half. She nailed the all-important conversion. Ireland have gone for 6 forwards and 2 backs on the bench, given their lack of options. For Scotland, scrum half Mary McDonald replaces the injured Jenny Maxwell. So England are champions, Grand Slam winners, France second, Wales third. Ireland and Scotland desperately trying to avoid the dreaded wooden spoon. Yep, Scotland searching for their first win. Ireland obviously have that one on the board against Italy. As we see this evening's referee, Maggie Cogger-Orr of New Zealand. Alongside me, the former Scotland forward, Heather Lockhart. Heather, what are you looking from Scotland this evening as they look to get their first win?
I think the breakdown will be absolutely key this evening. Ireland's defence against England, especially in the first half, was outstanding last week. So I think Scotland will be looking to kick long and utilise their strong set piece.
Yep, perfect.
Here we go then in Belfast. Scotland get things underway. Linda Dugang just can't quite gather that for Ireland. Under a bit of pressure, Scotland up in their faces. Goes Monaghan, a huge player for Ireland.
Don't leave her in there.
Back in the side this evening.
Wait, Green, wait for the winger. Good.
Cleared from Irwin, but only as far as Chloe Rowley, who thinks that kick over, and it's well claimed by Irwin, the debutant. Doing her job there.
Same thing.
Catherine
wait,
Dane gets that away. And it's cleared into touch. And Scotland's in good field position early on.
Find out here. Here's the middle.
Yeah, definitely kicking long from the
the
kick-off and just putting pressure in that bottom right-hand corner.
They need to be on you. Step back. Come in. I'll make them come in. Green.
Set piece needs to be good.
Lifter.
Lana Skeldon will line up the first throw. It is wet in Belfast. The ball will be slippy. Let's see what Scotland do. They go to the middle where Wassell claims it, and it's away, it's clean. And Scotland can roam forward through Gallagher.
Someone's mic's on,
Here's
guys. Just
Malcolm.
check if something's pressing on it. Thank you.
When it's gone through Mattins's leg, she didn't know it was there, and she's dived on. Scrappy stuff. Nelson continuing at 12 again. Stabbed through. It's a good, clever kick, and Irwin does get there. She has to run it, and Rona Lloyd's up there with the chase in her face. That's a penalty to Scotland. Fantastic work.
Excellent kick there by Lisa Thompson. We were just talking that before the start of the match, and that's exactly what Scotland will be looking to do, pin Ireland back in the corners. Excellent work.
Yeah, they were quick, snapped into the breakdown. And now Lisa Thompson stab this into the corner, and Scotland will be able to exert some early pressure.
On the 5. On the 5, guys. Thank you. I'm going to leave you at the front.
I know she's been working on her kicking with Chris Patterson in training, so definitely paying off.
Yeah, not a bad person to learn from, Chris Patterson.
Fantastic expertise, yeah.
Bonner claims it just about. And Scotland set up the maul. It's rolling.
That's down by blue.
And there's a Knee down,
Don't
perhaps.
change your bind. Stay there.
Skeldon has it at the back now, and Scotland come forward again. They're rumbling towards the line.
He's in there.
I think it's maybe Wassell who has it now.
Use it now. You're going back.
Ireland shunt back. Scotland are there, and Wassell dives over. Has she got it down? Short, says the referee.
Release.
Where is the ball? Is the question. It's offloaded. Still repelled. Gallagher having a go.
Yeah, the ball's out, guys. The ball's out.
Ireland hanging on, and Scotland go again.
Release. Screen. Tackle.
Just a couple of inches short, and again, this time Malcolm's held up.
Take a step. 10. Hands and feet.
Will they go wide? Bonner's there. And Scotland are over, and it's down from Evie Gallagher.
I've got it on the line. I've got it on the line. They'll sweep. I've got it
The
on the line.
referee's happy with the grounding.
I've got it on the line,
Scotland
guys.
battered
They'll
away,
sweep. I've got
so
it on the line.
persistent. And Evie Gallagher puts them in front.
Superb patience there by Scotland. Excellent line out, well taken. And the secondary drive from the, just look here, great take by Sarah Bonner. That was a difficult ball to take. A good setup by the Scotland foreigners there. Emma Wassell there, just short of the line, as the referee said.
You called it before the game, Heather. You said they need to play clever rugby,
All good so
get it
far.
in the corners.
Yeah, absolutely, and good power there by Evie Gallagher. Good showing last week, and excellent body position there to get over the line and finish.
Yeah, she's been a real star of the tournament for Scotland so far. Evie Gallagher, the number 8, showing her power there. And a first shot at goal. It's for Helen Nelson, who will try and make 5 points become 7. Unsuccessful. It was a difficult one. Scotland 5-0 up nonetheless, and a really positive start.
Super positive start. They'll be really pleased with that, given the conditions as well. Lisa Thompson really dictating play with her kicking,
Got a
and
ball
the
coming
forwards
there.
are really organised and got that patience, which is great.
Yeah, Scotland won the last meeting between these sides, the crucial World Cup
You want to use that one? This
playoff
one?
qualifier, 2018, last-minute try. The record against Ireland in the Six Nations isn't as good. Only won 1 of the last 14, but
This is fine.
clearly they'll have gained confidence from the last meeting. A lot of the same players out there. And Gallagher, the try scorer, takes, looks up, gets away from Dorothy Wall. Just no
Carried
mean
back.
feat.
Wait here, Blue. Wait.
Back to
Wait
Nelson. Puts the
Fingers
right
on.
foot through it. Here's O'Connor for Ireland. One of that back 3 who are ferociously hard hitters. It's loose though, and Thompson straight up on Cocky. Ireland have to regroup. Dane. Here's Dorothy Wall. Niamh Jones back in her home province.
Say 1. Wait, 1. Thank you.
Nelson gives it to Campbell. Droley, in fact. Belisle.
Wait, 9. Wait. Thank you.
Nelson, the good kicking option at centre, and that's a good touch finder.
Yeah, really smart player there by Helen Nelson, and the defensive set prior to that was excellent as well. Scotland are not really competing at the breakdown once it's lost, and then Ireland kicked, and then Scotland were able to kick on the counter.
Yeah, not seen a huge amount of Ireland in an attacking sense in the opening 7.5 minutes. They'll be hoping to change that here, but that's loose, and it falls into the arms of Emma Wassell.
Got the knock-on advantage, 9.
You can hear the referee. Scotland playing knock-on advantage. Here's Law. Nelson. Thompson.
Tackle, release.
Scotland's second top carrier behind Jade
Advantage
Conkle, who's obviously
over.
injured. She does so many hard yards in the centre. Here's Law. Wassell, try scorer from last week. Scotland look to go wide. Nice pop back inside to Campbell, and it's lost forward. And that will be a scrum, the first of the evening.
Nice passage of play there by Scotland. Just a lovely pop back, as you say, pop back inside. Good take there from the line out. Emma Wassell vigilant. And just lovely pop there and just knocked on in the tackle.
Yeah, Shona Campbell just tried to get that into the arms of our captain, Rachel Malcolm, but unfortunately with the wet ball, it's just squirmed loose. And the first scrum will be interesting. Only France, before this round of matches, had a better scrum success rate than Scotland. They've been excellent in this domain. Catherine Dane feeds it in for Ireland.
2 feet 9. Stay 9.
And here we go, the home side. That's a good line by Enya Breen. She's clean through. She's looking for support on the shoulder, but there's blue jerseys around her. It goes to Cocky and it's spilled. And the referee says it's lost forward. But a warning sign there for Scotland.
It started from the set piece, actually. Ireland's scrum was under pressure against England, but there it was a good set piece, parity with Scotland, and a really, really good strong break there, looking for the offload and then making it, yeah, just not quite going to hand.
Let's go. Same thing, I'll step this way, all right?
Nikki Cocky just slightly overrunning that.
Yeah, and our keenness to, she might argue the pass was behind her, but
50-50, exactly. Just seeing it on that angle there, yeah.
Good break by Enya Breen, though, read the space.
Bind!
Here we go, second scrum. Ireland edged the last one. Scotland's put in here, though. Good scrum.
Wait, 7. Thank you.
Sarah Law hoists it into the air. It's not her finest, but
This here. She's right there.
it does just
Is it on the full?
bounce in touch, does it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This here.
You see her shaking her head. It was a slice.
Sorry, I thought you said it bounced.
I think that was out on
Yeah,
the
out
full.
on the full. So we'll go back to in line with where Sarah Law kicked it.
I think that was why Sarah was shaking her head there.
Yeah, a bit of confusion amongst the officials, but it is Ireland's ball. Jones in. It's taken by Monaghan.
Tackle!
Here goes Jones, so powerful. The captain, Nicola Friday, gets over the gain line. Cocky spots a gap in the backfield. She doesn't find it though, and Chloe Rowley takes it. Didn't mark it. She'll run it out of danger and then puts boot to ball.
Nice bit of play there by Chloe Rowley. Scorer of tries in Parma. Obviously that crucial try, and should be looking to do the same again today. But great take defensively there. Running it out from the 22 and getting some distance.
Yeah, Green, come in. You need to come in so they can set up. Green, you need to come in. This is the mark. You guys step off. I'll make them come in.
So Ireland will get a second bite from a similar position. They claim that one more cleanly this time. Here's Cocky. Here's Adel McMahon. And another pass goes to deck. Friday stooped to try and claim it.
It's just a scrum. 3.
I think if Ireland were to get together, they'd say don't force the passes. It's a slippy ball tonight. They're really, really good at their hard carries, and if it's a 50-50 ball, don't give it.
Yeah, you see, it's just that.
Just the passing probably as well, they might say, just give it a bit of air as well, just so it goes to hand.
You're good up there now, that's fine.
See that possession. Scotland, it's no stranger for Scotland. They've had a lot of possession in all their games really so far, but haven't quite managed to make it count. They've got the worst conversion rate when they're in the opposition 22, I should say, and they'll be hoping to change that. But that's an error from Mattinson, unforced, frustrating.
Again, that slippy ball. I think she just looked up where she wanted. She was just looking up there, and I think the ball just slipped.
She's got a pat on the back there. On to the next job, as they say.
Absolutely.
You all right? Yeah.
And she's trying to just look
we'll go
ahead
time
to
off
see
this
what's in
because
front
she's
of her
right in
and
the way
doesn't.
of your attack. So we'll go
Exactly.
time off while we sort
Doesn't
of
catch the
here's
ball.
Mark. Just leave the ball in the mark for me. Thanks. Just keep an eye on
I was
it.
really impressed with her quality of her passing, so she'll reset and go again.
Yeah, first start last week for Katie Matheson. Impressed enough to get another one this evening, but that's a concern for Scotland. Sarah Law receiving some treatment on her leg. Will she be able to run it off is the question.
You all right? Okay. Yep. Sweet. Okay. Okay. Water off.
I think tonight is a night for Sarah Law, so I think she'll be hoping, and the team will be hoping, and the coaches. Brian Easton there just getting some information that she can stay on as long as she can.
Yeah, Brian Easton said this week he thought the key area would be the gain line. And I think
Time's on.
Ireland have had the most dominant
She drops her
hits
blind. Is that what I said?
of any team in this competition, which is quite something. So
Crouch.
need to try and get themselves over that line. They've done pretty well so far, but Ireland have had some good field position for a while now, and they go again.
No,
Dane feeds,
Advantage.
Matheson's a bit too
Gotta
eager,
drop her bind.
and it's advantage. It's another
Got
error,
the advantage, Green.
carried up by Nuupu. Here's Wall,
Still under advantage, 9.
Cocky.
Advantage.
Scotland get in there, Lisa Thompson,
Yeah,
Ireland
knock on
still
only.
with the advantage.
In the tackle, yep. Still under penalty advantage.
Monaghan,
Superb tackle there by Molly Wright. Double tackle on Evie Gallagher.
Jones,
Let it come.
Dane. It's a low pass, but it's well claimed by Cocky. Ireland looking to use the width. Here's Idle McMahon. Jugang, always willing to take ball.
That's fine, guys. We're coming back. Scrum.
We'll go back for
You got
the
the mark? Yeah, just here.
knock-on advantage, I think.
Sorry, I'm just getting the mark. It's over here. Thank you. 9 offside.
That's a penalty advantage. It was a long one, but
Shot
Yeah,
goal.
Katie Matheson just coming round the back of the scrum when she shouldn't have been.
yeah, is that frustrating? Because she was maybe too keen to make up
Perfect,
for her
thank you.
error and tried to put the pressure on.
Gary Parker, one of the former Scotland coaches, they always say if you make a mistake, don't try and make up for it, just try and continue on and just refocus, which is good advice.
Well, Ireland are going to take the points here to try and get within 2. It's the number 8, Hannah O'Connor, who's lining it up.
That rain's getting definitely a bit heavier now.
Yeah, we saw the difference it could make in Parma last week. Certainly coming down in Belfast as O'Connor lines this shot at the posts up. It's some distance. It's a lovely strike from Hannah O'Connor, the number 8. Just breezes that over the posts, and Ireland are on the board.
That's an outstanding kick. It really is. Urging her teammates on, urging the crowd on. Get it going, get the energy going. Well done, Hannah.
They certainly enjoyed that one.
Same for you. You don't want to kick in the dark.
Lisa Thompson gets us underway again. Jugang under it, claims it this time, goes down the wing. Dorothy Wall already had quite a few carries.
Yeah, wait here, Green.
Back to Irwin.
Good.
Stabs a kick forward, well claimed though. It's the try scorer, Gallagher. And she's met with stern
Advantage,
resistance and it's gone forward. And Friday gets it away in Ireland. Spots some space, Cocky out to Aoife Doyle. Suddenly it's the home side with their tails up. Here's Monaghan. Quick ball for Dane. Irwin chopped down by Sarah Law. Here's O'Connor. Fend, big fend, gets her past Malcolm. Ireland used the short side. Here's O'Connor, puts a little kick through and didn't get the distance on it she was looking for. She's got some footwork for a number 8.
She's got that real energy about her as well. Superb, part of a superb back row, and just urging her teammates on there. That was also double tackle on Evie Gallagher to force the turnover, and Ireland really putting the pressure on here.
Scotland's looking to secure ball. Wassall goes up, Ireland get a hand in there, but it's a knock on, and Scotland will get the scrum.
Lost forward in the line-out.
Ireland still play.
Girls, it's a knock on in the line-out.
Ireland can finish
Okay,
fourth, and
I've got a
Hannah
knock on
O'Connor has
off
got
you,
that
jump on the
firmly in
line-out.
her sights right now.
We can't play on, it's a knock on off you.
Yeah, she's almost single-handedly driving her team forward there. She
Oh, yeah,
got
yep.
up, they read it well, but it's just
Hands
a
off. Right, it's
knock
gonna be on
forward,
15,
and
guys, just here. I'll go check her.
Scotland will have the
Just keep
scrum.
an eye again, Frankie, thanks.
Let's go to the studio and get the thoughts of former Scotland international Megan
right.
Kennedy. How have you assessed it so far?
Yeah, I think it's been a fabulous start from Scotland. Getting a try within the first 4 minutes was obviously an ideal start for Scotland. I think now it's just about refocusing, resetting, and trying to get that momentum back. It seems to have shifted at the minute in Ireland's favour. They're really putting Scotland under a lot of pressure, and a couple of errors just allowing them to get on the scoreboard. But yeah, I think positives from Scotland definitely in the first opening 18 minutes or so.
Yeah, all good.
Thank you, Megan. Megan Kennedy there.
Perfect. All good? All right, we'll get water off, guys.
You see Christine Belial just getting some treatment, the Scotland prop, but she looks like she's okay to continue. And we just see that possession swing, which has gone from 60-40 in Scotland's favour into Ireland's.
Let's go, Scotland!
Linda, it's your scrum. You hear me? Second!
Big scrum here.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Well dealt with by Scotland. Solid scrum, and Nelson with a really good carry out of the 22. Here's Skeldon. So strong. Mantetson just trying to work the
Wait for
space
the
here
winner.
for the box kick.
Yeah.
Up it goes. Well claimed by Irwin.
Hold!
Here's Monaghan.
Ball's available.
O'Connor. Cocky. Here's McMahon. Naupu. Pirouette. Does the job.
Wait here.
Here's
Wait,
Cocky. Little kick in. Oh, and Chloe Rowley just bounced off her and couldn't regather.
It's tough. It's going to
Just
happen
1 second.
tonight for both
I'll
sides,
catch you
as
in a
we've
sec.
seen, and it's just focusing on the next job.
Skipper, it's knocked on into touch. You can have the line out or the scrum.
See here, the rain pouring down, and Chloe Rowley,
Scrum?
usually so assured
Scrum here. Okay.
with the error.
Yeah, time's off, guys, for the injury.
Superb take there by Irwin at fullback.
Yeah.
And she's played well so far on her debut,
Yeah.
hasn't she?
Eyes on the ball.
It's
That's
not
a
clear
superb
picture for
take,
me that- I'll
especially
come
in the
to side, keep an
conditions.
eye on it. It's not clear for me right now. Yeah. Yeah, I can.
There she is, Chloe Rowley, 2 tries for Scotland
Yeah, I can see what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
in this Six Nations. And we've
Yeah.
got another casualty on the turf.
Sam Monaghan seems to be picking up a head of steam as well, so Scotland will be looking to, as Megan was talking about there, try and swing the momentum back again.
Let's get some thoughts from Colin Gregor now. Colin, Scotland just slipping out of the game slightly.
Yeah, you can tell we've all, well, we've experienced that Belfast wind and rain. It becomes really, really difficult. And Ireland are playing the conditions very well. They're just building pressure in Scotland's territory, and it's just the basics that Scotland need to just sharpen up on. You see the kind of losing ball in contact or knocking on what should be fairly straightforward catches, and when they do get ball, actually it's been real smart with it and just looking at territory, just hoofing it down the field. You do think with the penalty Ireland kicked that potentially they've got the wind behind them.
Thanks, Colin. Colin Gregor there. Here we go. Ireland get the ball away cleanly. Here's Cocky. Takes it to the line. Here's O'Connor popping up once again. So difficult to pin down, but eventually she does go down. Nicola Friday, good tackle from Gallagher. Here's Monaghan. Friday again. Ireland just trying to build some phases, but Scotland get in there and make sure Nicola Friday is pinged for holding on.
Good defensive set there by Scotland.
Just on you.
Working hard. Two front rows, two props. That's outstanding work from both of them. Christine Belial and Molly Wright. Molly Wright starting again this week at Loosehead and doing a power of work at the breakdown.
We'll use the line, guys, as the middle.
It's our 14th cap, Molly Wright. Most of those were from the bench, but 2 starts in a row. And she's certainly making the most of it. A crucial turnover there
I'll make them
for
come
Scotland.
in, you stay there. Blue, come into the line out. The line out, this is the middle. Advantage.
It's loose and Ireland have it. Niamh Jones takes it forward. Here's McMahon.
Advantage over.
Here's Naopu, but doesn't claim it. And that will be a scrum.
We'll just come
Just
back.
scrappy at the moment.
So knock on over here.
No continuity in either team's play.
So we'll come back for the scrum.
Yeah, I think definitely here Scotland will be looking just to get good set piece ball there. Just a bit high and not quite to Emma, and Ireland just taking advantage there, but again mistakes are creeping in. So definitely think going back to how Scotland started, using the long kick into the corners, I think that's definitely what they need to do now.
Seni Naopu there, free to play after a red card against England last week for a tackle on Emily Scarrett was rescinded.
Crouch! Bind! Set! 1, 2, 3!
Scotland under a bit of strain here.
Ball's out.
Ball is out though. Gallagher scragged to the deck. Shona Campbell's in there, the winger, off her wing, doing some work, some crucial work in the ruck. Skeldon. Scotland just slowing it down, looking to create the space for the box kick. Sam Monaghan's lurking. Claimed by Dane. Dorothy Wall with a strong carry. Friday. Here's Christy Haney.
Advantage, knock on.
And it's knocked on and Scotland have it, and McLachlan spots the gap, looks to offload, but it's a bit careless.
That's fine, knock on.
Katie Maskin's box kick previously, probably just looking for a wee bit more distance, Ireland able to counter-attack off that.
Okay. Yeah, time's off, I'm gonna have a word.
I think Scotland just need to tighten things up here.
There's plenty more women's rugby action on the BBC, if this whets your appetite. Premier 15's action next Saturday, Bristol Bears against Harlequins, available on the iPlayer and via the BBC Sport app. Should be a cracker. Sarah Bonner potentially involved for Harlequins. It's Greg McWilliams, the Ireland coach, watching on, getting some instructions on. Probably pleased with what he's seen more or less in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, he's had quite a job this Six Nations. Some sevens players away this weekend, seven backline players away. The squad coming together last week with new players coming in.
Scrum turns again, and
Ireland are really starting to put the pressure on at the scrum.
And there you go, Heather, penalty.
I think they've definitely been working on their scrum this week. I definitely think that's a factor, because against England they were definitely struggling. So well done Ireland there.
Points. Shot called.
Their tight head, Christy Haney. She played for American colleges and is now representing Ireland, a grandmother in Ireland. And she came over to UCD to do a master's degree. 4th cap, so she'll be pleased with her work there. Getting a pack on her bat from the captain.
Yeah, they're every right to celebrate that one. That's twice they've managed to wield it round, and the second time Scotland couldn't get it out, and Hannah O'Connor is feeling the confidence flowing through her veins after that fantastic first kick, and she's lining up a second, which would put Ireland in front for the first time. That one just misses.
Get the ball.
I like her attitude. It's outstanding. She's already on to the next job.
Let's just get the right one. Have we got a ball?
Slight let off for Scotland. They'll hope to try and just get out their own half. They've been pegged back for quite some time now, but I suppose the positive is they've not conceded any points.
Opportunity here now for Lisa.
Yeah, she'll look to get some distance on this, Lisa Thompson, which she does. Chase needs to be good.
Inside.
Kicked forward by Cockey, and it's gone right over the head of Rona Lloyd, but it's gone dead.
Yeah. So you want the scrum up, I'm assuming? Yep. Yeah.
So because the ball was kicked right out of the pitch, Scotland can elect to have the scrum where the ball was kicked from.
Yeah, you can see what she was trying to do, but just a bounce and this wet turf skipped away.
Yeah, it's running fast.
Not played for Ireland since November 2018. Nikki Cockey drafted in, given that so many backs are away to sevens, and injury last week to Nicole Cronin. This time Scotland do secure their ball.
Here goes Scotland.
Advantage.
Here they go. High tackle advantage on Lloyd. Oh, that's a great line by Thompson. That's called as a forward pass.
Yeah, that's a forward pass. No advantage. High tackle, 10. Forward pass. No advantage coming. High tackle.
That was a great line by Lisa Thompson.
Superb line.
Like to see that pass again. Yeah, you can see the arm just round
coming round
the neck. And Scotland are back up to Ireland's 22. We've not been here in a while.
Just come this way a bit. This is outside. We'll make it clearly outside. Lovely.
Penalty count, though, relatively. It's more the unforced errors due to the conditions. I think both sides could be asking each other just a wee bit more, even though despite the conditions.
Yeah.
Scotland desperately wanting to avoid that 6th and last position. A win would be almost certain to do it.
And the 5 brought down by Blue.
One goes down. Here's Mattinson. Nelson does well to step out of contact. Eventually she's taken down. Malcolm to Wassel. Bonner steals a few metres. Here's Law. Pops it to Skeldon, good angle. Mattinson marshals the troops on the short side. Bonner gets it again. Two green shirts jump on her. Law back into McLachlan, who's smashed by Jones and Monaghan.
Don't touch the 9-1.
Huge hit. Right. Again smashed. Idle McMahon. Oh, and a great carry. Skeldon latched onto by Thompson, and they make some precious steps forward. Oh, Raleigh. Backwards, says the referee.
Backwards.
Ireland will try and hold this up. Tackle called. Mattinson. Law. Some space out wide if Scotland can get there, but they go in, and that's good.
Fantastic line by Rachel.
Malcolm, the captain. Back on the inside, the scissors.
Yeah.
That's no loss forwards. And again, Scotland with some good continuity, but can't find the final gap or bit of space or line break.
Yeah, very much so. They were building the pressure, especially using the blind. Katie Mattison using her forward, some good hard carries, but look at that double tackle there. Outstanding. Sam Monaghan and Niamh Jones. And again there.
How's space out here?
Yeah, Niamh Jones along with Linda Jugang and McMahon have made the most dominant hits in the Six Nations, and you can see it in evidence there. There's Jugang at it, forces the spill as well. You can see what Brian Eason was talking about when he was talking about gain line with these defenders that Ireland have got.
Yeah, they're hungry for it, and their body position is absolutely excellent, and their teamwork as well. Sam Monaghan has come from Gaelic football, camogie, all sorts, so she's using all her sporting knowledge here. Really, really good, effective play in the second row. Has been playing for Wasps.
Yeah, Sammy Bill Monaghan, they call her, after Sonny Bill Williams with her offloading ability. That's what her teammates nickname her. Not seen any offload so far, but she's
doing the hard stuff just now.
Yeah, it's maybe not the night for audacious offloads, but she's certainly bringing the physicality. Dane puts it in. O'Connor peels away. She's able to make a few. Dane slows it down.
Yes, taken back.
Back to Cochie, and she's spilled it. Good pressure.
I think Scotland have been down in this 22, and we're really looking for points. It doesn't have to be a try. It could be a penalty as well. So I think Scotland have got to play smart in these 8 minutes before half-time.
Hannah O'Connor's certainly up for this, but Sarah Law went to meet her. And you see again, Cochie just taking her eye off the ball.
Crouch!
7 minutes till the break. Scotland 2 in front. How they'd like to add to that.
Use the blind again. That would be, if the ball comes good.
Oh, and Ireland have turned it over. O'Connor has it. They've got the upper hand in the scrum so far. And there's the penalty. Those are the sorts of shifts that can swing a game.
I think they're almost used their dominance in the tackles, and they're now transferring it into the scrums. The leg drive's really there, and the ball was just loose, and they managed to get it back.
I'm not sure what happened, if there was a hook in there. And they get up to the halfway line.
Just let her do her job.
A welcome reprieve.
Here's the middle.
Oh, It's a Scotland foot that kicks it.
Just knocks it.
Kicks it forward.
Just knocks it forward. So the number 2, the person in the mill's meant to push the ball back.
Easier said than done when you're under pressure, isn't it?
I was about to say difficult ball there.
All backwards.
It's loose though for Ireland.
All backwards into touch.
And you can see Sarah Bonner rallying the troops. She loved that one.
Very much so.
Here's the middle.
17 tackles last week. There she is, urging everyone on. Just been given elite athlete status by the RAF. And she'll be focusing on the World Cup and her training and prep up to that.
Yeah, that's a huge boost for Scotland. Here we go, Scotland looking to put Ireland under a spot of pressure. Gallagher, the try scorer. McLachlan smashed by Zhugang and it's lost forward, and this Irish defence is just ferocious.
Both sides encouraging each other. Well played, Linda Zhugang, very good. Started at tight head now in the loose, and her work rate. Look at this hit.
They're sweeping on all of them, so anything clear that he'll come through with. Yep.
And you look at this low, it's textbook.
She'd seen where the ball was going, was ready. Fantastic leg drive.
Yeah, you reset as well. Guys, they've been really good. Let's
Born in
keep
Cameroon,
on it, right?
Linda Zhugang. Moved over to Ireland as a kid, couldn't speak the language. Fantastic story, she's a nurse as well. And she is a fantastic competitor, as evidenced there.
Bind!
Yes, Linda.
Set!
Now it's Scotland who get the shove on, it falls down on the
Against screen or for green?
loose head side.
Okay.
It's a clever kick.
I'll come to that side on the next one. Okay, perfect. I'll come over there next time.
Nicely judged.
Scotland working much better in that scrum there.
Skeldon, Scotland go to the back, it's loose and Jones gathers. It was risky. Ireland have profited. Here's McMahon. Good tackle from the Scotland fly half, Sarah Law. Ball is slow. Here's Cocky. Use that boot again. She's been doing that regularly. Rowley has it. Oh, and Shona Campbell was in the way, and it's an obstruction.
Crossing.
Crossing. And that's just unfortunate.
Crossing. You've run behind your own player.
You can hear the referee saying there, you've run behind your own player, not allowed to do that. Called crossing.
Yeah, she just, it's instinct though. She tried to use Shona Campbell as a shield and stops the tackler getting to her, which is illegal. And Ireland now, with a little over 2 minutes to half-time, have a really, really good chance to get themselves in front.
Injury. Time's off for the injury, guys. Oh.
I think on review, Scotland would probably keep that line out a bit tighter. And there's the crossing.
Perfect, sounds good. Just while we've got a break, can we just
Christine Belisle getting some strapping on that leg. We saw her getting some treatment earlier.
No, just so you know. Just while we've got a break, guys, can we just speed the lineups up? We don't need to have a huddle before every lineup.
She's played a lot of minutes this championship, so
just do it on the fly. We don't need to have it every single
looking
time.
after
Okay,
her.
I've said the same thing to them. Yeah, I've said the same thing to them.
Tough job this afternoon against Linda Zhugang.
Good.
Brought her A game today. There's Dorothy Wall as well.
Are you all right here? Okay. Still got time off.
Yeah, Ireland might have a depleted backline, but their forward pack is more or less the same as it has been throughout the tournament, and it's been ferocious in defence so far. There's Brian Eason, the Scotland coach, watching on. He'll have been pleased with the first 10-15 minutes. Less so the rest of the half. It's been a bit scrappy.
Okay, time's on.
I think Hannah O'Connor and Sam Monaghan will have a lot to do with that, driving Ireland on.
Claimed by Friday, and Ireland get them all going. The heave is on.
Going sideways.
Niamh Jones has it tucked under her arm, the hooker.
Just stay.
They're making the yards, edging forward. It seems inevitable here. Here's Niamh Jones for Ireland. Still going. Half a metre out, they're over, try. Niamh Jones gets to her feet and is mobbed by her teammates. Textbook rolling maul try for Ireland, and they hit the front for the first time.
Well taken by captain Nicola Friday there. Well organised. Niamh Jones just working there at the back. Scotland nearly disrupting, but Niamh Jones just getting over. She also scored against Italy.
We're just maybe, yeah, perfect, right there.
Yeah, they plays for Gloucester Hartpury in the Premier 15s, but she's an Ulster woman. This is our home turf, Kingspan Stadium in Belfast. She'll have really enjoyed that one, and crucially, it puts her side in front. Interesting here, it's going to be Enya Breen to take the shorter kick. We've had Hannah O'Connor with the boot from distance. And it's just off the outside of the post from Enya Breen, which means it will just be a 3-point difference at the break, you would think, although we will have time for this restart.
There really is a lot of power in that, both in the scrums and obviously the mauls there.
Yeah, we saw last week in the first half against England, all the power and presence England have up front in Ireland really kept them at bay for, we're only 10-0 down at half-time. Fell apart somewhat in the second half with a few cards, but they do have a real physicality about them. Thompson puts it high, and if Ireland claim less, which they don't, they would have put it straight into touch, you would think, but now Scotland have a chance if they can keep this ball alive and get themselves forward. Here's Skeldon. Law into midfield where McLaughlin's waiting.
Now, you're on the body.
Gallagher, good carry, fends off wall, and then Jones, eventually chopped down by O'Connor.
Happy with 6.
Here's Nelson for Malcolm, the captain. Scotland inching towards the 22. Skeldon again, so often the first receiver. Law. Here's Nelson, it's Thompson, puts the kick in, and Chloe Rowley's going after it. Irwin's under pressure. Does she gather? She does. And now Ireland needs to secure this. Scotland looking to counter ruck.
Still in.
But it looks like Ireland have secured this. And Catherine Dane will put it into touch, or will she? It's not going to reach. It is reclaimed though by Scuffle McCabe. It's still in play. Ireland just can't get this ball out. Surely now it will be half-time. Scotland doing their utmost, and there we go. Half-time, Scotland started brightly. Evie Gallagher's try, but the boot of Hannah O'Connor and the response from Niamh Jones just before the break means it's Ireland who head into half-time with an 8-5 advantage in Belfast.
Yes, well, at the break, it's Ireland 8, Scotland 5. A fantastic start for Scotland, the visitors, with all the early pressure, and a try within 4 minutes, powered over by Evie Gallagher. But soon after came Ireland's warning signs, great attacking play and a powerful rolling maul, with Niamh Jones bringing the hosts right back into things. They were looking for 40 minutes of clever rugby. That's what Scotland coach Brian Eason wanted, but it's just 3 points that separate these two sides. Yes, it's been a terrific first half for the neutral, I would say. For our two Scotland pundits here, though, probably not the ending to the first 40 we wanted. Megan, it was a terrific start. Is that exactly what you expected from Scotland?
Yeah, I definitely thought they'd come out all guns blazing, which they absolutely did. So to score within the first 4 minutes was just a perfect start, really. But they'll definitely be frustrated because they took their foot off the gas and, yeah, they let Ireland come into it and, yeah, not the way they wanted to go in at half-time.
Colin, are they coping with the conditions in the right way?
I think Ireland, are managing the conditions a bit better, and Scotland probably had a couple of handling errors that probably due to the wind and rain, which is disappointing because they're fairly basic. So I think after the great start that Scotland had, Ireland have probably managed the conditions. They've been on top territorially, and so they've just built a bit more pressure. It's been a tough sort of last half hour of that half for Scotland, I would say.
Yeah, it was glimmers of hopes. Just 4 minutes it took for Scotland's first try. Let's just look at that now. Brian Easton, this is exactly the kind of play that he has been building towards in this team.
Yeah, absolutely. It came from a great little grubber through from Lisa Thompson to get Scotland into a really good attacking position. And a fantastic maul. Lineouts have been a little inconsistent for Scotland in this campaign, so it was a relief to see that first one end up in Sarah Bonner's hands. And yeah, Evie Gallagher did so well to finish that off. She had a fair bit of work to do, but she's a very powerful ball carrier and she's done well to get over that line.
Yeah, Colin was particularly impressed by that grubber. You pointed it out, you were like, we need to talk about that.
Yeah, I just think in terms of in these conditions, when you've had a couple of phases, you're not going anywhere, actually just apply pressure in a different way, and they got a penalty from that. Then they kicked to the corner, excellent execution of the line out, and then the patience and control of the forwards, actually let's just pick and go. Let's just grind down the Ireland defence, knowing that you've got powerful players like Evie Gallagher, who, when she gets into that sort of position, well supported by her second-row pal, Emma Bonner, and then the two of them proved unstoppable, and it was the ideal start for Scotland.
Yeah, and it was almost the only try of the first 40, but just at the end there, Niamh Jones for Ireland just getting over the line. That is unfortunate for Scotland because they would have loved to have gone in at the break with a lead.
Yeah, and it's a warning sign for Scotland as well that on the whole, I think Scotland's discipline has been really good, but Ireland get into that position. They set up the maul, maybe 9-10 metres from the Scotland line, and they're just patient. They've got themselves in really good position, really good control, ball tucked under Niamh Jones, the hooker's hands. But I mean, it's the full 8 there that they're just completely in control of that situation, and they're just going forward, shuffling a bit left, a bit right. But yeah, it's a concern for Scotland that if they give away penalties, if they allow Ireland to get near to the Scotland line, then they've got that maul, which is a pretty ferocious weapon, judging by that effort.
Yeah, Ireland momentum has just been increasing during the last 40 minutes, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think a huge part of a match is psychological as well, and you can see them just growing from every little error that Scotland are maybe making, and every yard that Ireland are getting over the gain line, you can see them thriving on it, and it's really boosting them a lot.
Ireland are so physical. They're great, strong ball carriers. What is it about their attack today that is impressing you? We can just see here, I think it was Enya Breen that just flew past, but it's been really impressive from them. Yeah, they're just, they are just relentless, and that was a tiny little gap that she managed to work her way through. Again, there have been a fair few handling errors, whether that's maybe players forcing it a little bit, or, I mean, the conditions won't be helping. But they have been attacking very well, especially in that last half hour. They've been putting Scotland under a lot of pressure and just getting through any little gap that they can find, really. I
think on that, you've got to Shona Campbell, the scramble defence from Scotland to come back and snuff that out. And again, I think on this one, it's Shona Campbell, because Ireland, it's one of the rare occasions they've got to the width, but one-on-one, the step back inside, but good defence from Scotland. Then Ireland looking to then go up the guts. And again, yes, Ireland are attacking well, but on the whole, Scotland's defence has been more than a match for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, Colin, our resident scrum expert, is here, back again. Thank you very much for joining us. We were talking last week about how good Scotland's scrum was. Ireland's scrum, someone's been practising.
Well, yeah, exactly. Someone's had extra Weetabix this morning, I think. And we probably thought Scotland would have parity, if not maybe a bit of an advantage here. But yeah, Ireland just... as much as my expertise knows that they're pushing Scotland backwards, so that's why they win the penalty. But on a couple of occasions, and that occasion you think, oh, Scotland are in a good position to attack, but actually Ireland, they win one against the head, which is uncommon, and then Carly Mattinson, unfortunate, she makes a good tackle, but she doesn't roll away. So from a potentially a good Scotland attacking position, actually Ireland, big scrum, win the penalty, relieve the pressure. Moments like that can shift momentum in games.
And it's just been a far more fluid game today, hasn't it?
Yeah, last week there was a lot of stopping and starting, and there wasn't much flow to the game. I think this week's been much better, and whilst there have been errors, the game's really flowed a lot better. But I think Scotland will be looking to cut out some of those errors in the second half. There's been a lot of silly little handling errors that could be avoided. And I think, like you said, Colin, earlier about just being patient, keeping it in the maul, keeping it in the forwards, and only going wide when the opportunities are there, I think are going to be vital, especially in the rain.
Brian Easton said earlier on this week that they had an honest review about how their Six Nations was going. What do you think would have been part of that honest review?
Yeah, I think the whole playing for 80 minutes, the taking opportunities when they present themselves, when they get into good positions, closing games out. They were winning down in Wales and didn't manage to get over the line, ahead against Italy, last week, and then the second half just didn't go to plan. I think now it's just about concentrate on the basics, know that the conditions, it's not going to be a 50 points to 40 high-scoring champagne rugby kind of a second half. It's going to be about doing the basics. It's going to be about getting field position, about discipline. I think making sure you don't give Ireland anything easy. Megan, you're absolutely right about just playing really smart, keeping it pretty tight and trying to use the kicking game a bit more. I think Scotland don't overplay even in your own half, maybe up to the 40-metre line of the opposition, of Ireland's 40 metres. Actually, just put the grubbers in, make Ireland play from deep, try and force the errors from them, build the pressure that way, and when there's opportunity to take points, try and get the scoreboard turning over.
Yeah, we'll get some final thoughts from both of you in just a second. But this is the last game of this year's 2022 TikTok Women's Six Nations. The other two games were earlier on today, and of course we now have Grand Slam champions. Who were they? We'll watch these highlights.
Can Italy launch an attack from deep? Forlan onto Muzzo again, and this is Veronese. The blindside flanker gets it onto Sara. Baratin dots it down. Italy finally make the breakthrough, and it's Sara Baratin, and it is the wily old head of their diminutive number 9. Bevan has a scrum going forward to work from, and Wales go with Harries, Bethan Lewis, Callender, picked up by Kira Bevan, and she sets the Cardiff Arms Park alight. Wales leaving it late again. 75 frustrating minutes for Wales fans to endure, but the first try comes. It has been a tight one at the Arms Park today. And Michaela Sillery puts Italy on the right side of it again. And it is Italy who have beaten Wales at the Arms Park, 10 points to 8.
Big passes out wide. They decide to opt for Joyeux. And release! England will not have been under this kind of pressure throughout the whole competition. What a run! And it's over from Ménager! France have turned up to play. First on the scoreboard. And it's game on in the south of France. France are throwing everything at this to stop it moving. It's Joyeux who's working her way round, but it's still moving from England. Is it over? Try!
And that is exactly what England needed. A disciplined, well set up, well established drive, keeping the ball away from the French.
England have taken this one pretty fast, taken by Ward in the air. It's Byrne who has it at the moment. Davis is there as an option as well.
Needs to be brought further back so the referee can see it.
Davis has it as well. It's another advantage to England. Davis was there.
Someone's going to the bin after this.
It is just on the edge. England sneak round the corner. It's touchdown. 5. It looks like it's Abby Ward who's got that one. England ahead for the first time in the match. Ball goes back. Scarrett sends it into the stand. England win. They take the Grand Slam and a 4th consecutive Six Nations title. England are the 2022 Women's Six Nations Grand Slam champions.
Yes, Megan, it was a fantastic game. We were talking about it earlier, and it was good to see England put under a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, definitely. They do appear to be in a league of their own, and France definitely put them to the test today. When France went over the line first, I thought, oh, we're in for maybe a shock this afternoon, but they just pulled away. And there was, after half-time, there was a bit of a battle again, but they just seem too strong at the minute.
Yeah, Colin, is it getting a bit boring now that we keep talking about how great England are, how great France are? What can we do to make sure that we've not got these women's rugby games that the scoreline's 55-0 or, you know, 67-13? Like, what can we do to make it better?
Yeah, it's really difficult, and one of the things that and Wales have taken that lead are they've gone with some professional players, and it's about, let's not just have professional players for the sake of it. It's having an organised structure and making it meaningful so that the players are well supported. They're playing meaningful competitions week in, week out. I know the head of United Rugby Championship was saying it'd be great to have a women's version of that competition. I'm not sure if that is the way to go. I don't know if looking at whether there can be a British league rather than it being just the English top 14 or Premier League, just so that actually maybe 1 or 2 Scottish, Welsh teams can get involved in that, maybe an Irish team or 2, so that actually it's a kind of European approach to it rather than thinking, oh, well, the men are doing this, so let's just copy what the men are doing. I think, just quickly, the one thing actually this weekend's really good, that England-Wales is a close game. England-France, sorry. Italy-Wales, really close. Well done to Italy winning. And it looks like this one, the Ireland-Scotland game, is going to be close. So, yeah, there are little pockets of close games. It's just the gap between the good and the not-so-good is growing, and it's how do we make sure that that's bridged.
Yeah, because we want every game to be competitive, and we don't want to come to this conclusion that we know exactly who's going to win the Women's Six Nations before the Women's Six Nations has even started. Let's put our focus back onto the second half now here between Ireland and Scotland. What do they need to do to come out, Scotland that is, to come out and you know, get the win, basically? How can they turn things around?
Stick to what they know, stick to what they do well and not force it. The weather is not good. And like Colin said earlier, Ireland seem to be handling it a little bit better. Scotland just need to keep it a bit tighter, don't force things. And you seen what happened when they got the maul working, scored within the first 4 minutes. So just be patient and stick to the basics, I'd say.
OK, we can see the teams are coming out now for the second half. Hopefully a tasty second half to come. Let's go back to our commentary team, Heather Lockhart and Thomas Duncan.
Thank you, Laura. It's finally poised, but as it stands, Scotland will be finishing rock bottom of the Six Nations without a win. 40 minutes to change all that. But they'll need to reverse the momentum of that first half where it just slipped away from them a bit, Heather.
Yeah, absolutely, and definitely the Irish pack, their tails are up. Linda Jugang, Niamh Jones, Sam Monaghan all playing superbly well. And I think Scotland should look to not go up against that, but find ways to go round them, kicks through, release balls, just not go one-on-one against them.
Here we go then. Ireland heading for 4th place above Italy as things stand. They'll be desperate to ensure it stays that way as that pops up for Gallagher. It's backwards and she regathers. Naopu is in there wrestling her to the deck.
Watch that winger for me. Wait here forwards.
Mantinson gets it away. Claimed by Irwin. Puts the head down. Molly Wright's in there. Now it's Wassell just trying to steal the ball. Ireland used the short side. Irwin thought about the offload to Doyle, but decided better of it. Here's O'Connor.
Tackle!
Met by Gallagher and Malcolm. Monaghan back inside. There's a little slip there from Enya Breen.
Wait here.
Cocky just
Stay.
relieves some pressure, but here's Rowley with a chance to stretch her legs, and this is what she's good at, Chloe Rowley. Brought down. Scotland with numbers out here. If Law can draw and pass, she gets in. There's Nelson out to Lloyd. Better from Scotland. Gallagher snagged by McMahon. Here's Law again. That had a whiff of forward pass, but referee hasn't called it. On we go. Law puts the little dink over the top, and that's clever play from Sarah Law, and that's more like it from Scotland, Heather.
Absolutely, just what we were talking about there. Just ways to get through that Irish defence, using the wide channel there on the right, and then Sarah Law, beautiful kick through there. So Sarah knows that, thinking about it, and definitely getting Scotland's back three involved. Good players need to get their hands on the ball.
Yeah, they score a lot of Scotland's tries, those back three players. So potent. We saw Rowley and Lloyd with the ball in hand there for one of the rare times we have seen that so far. Ireland do the business and
stay here, guys.
Claim the ball.
Oh yeah, perfect, all good.
Dane wants it. She gets it. Here's Zhugang. Fends off McLachlan.
Yep. Wait here, Green. Just wait forwards. 8.
Cocky puts boot to ball. It's not going to find touch, and it's claimed by Campbell. Gives it to Rowley. Here's Molly Wright popping up in midfield, puts the head down with good tackle from McMahon. Nelson driving at the line and then delayed the pass, and it's come off a Irish player, so it's an advantage here for Scotland. They regroup. Here's Wassell.
Got the knock-on advantage now.
Here's Nelson onto Thompson.
Yeah.
No advantage.
No advantage. Lost forward.
Scotland's attack there definitely.
Knock on in the tackle.
Yeah, Scotland's attack there definitely more varied and using the release ball. So passing the ball out the back and just stretching that Irish defence a bit. The Irish defence are quite narrow. There was a clip shown from the England game last week, and there was definitely a hole between the winger and the 13. So maybe Scotland should think about that channel.
Good position here. Scotland started the first half strongly. They've started the second well too. Points is what they need.
It's on that side.
Have a reset here.
Just coming to this side. Yeah, I think for me it's a slip on this side, guys. I know it's coming out a bit. Let's make sure our feet are underneath this, okay? Yeah. It's probably a bit better over here. We'll reset. Just, I know it is slippy, so we need to adjust our feet underneath this. Thanks, Ricky.
Voice of referee Maggie Cogger-Orr there. Has some sympathy with the players given the conditions.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Scotland hold. Mattinson under pressure from her opposite number, Dane, and it's gone back 10 yards or so. Rona Lloyd picks it up. Looks to go forwards. Wrapped up by Cocky. Ireland smell a turnover here. They've got it. And then Mattinson goes up and exacts some revenge on Dane. O'Connor gets it back, and it's a penalty to Scotland, holding on.
No, backwards here. Strip, I believe. Yeah.
Interesting there, Molly Wright just putting the hand out, calm down everyone. That's a good period of possession for Scotland. It's just got turned over, but got it back now.
Oh, nope,
Rona just wrapped up there.
Breen looks to have got the rip, but then Scotland managed to recover and pounce on the ball, and a chance for the big boot of Lisa Thompson to get Scotland into the 22, which she does very well.
And I'm thinking at half-time the messages might have been, let's play a bit shorter in the line-out, or just vary it, maybe a wee bit of movement, but asking for the tail ball in these conditions is quite tough.
Malcolm claims that one nicely. Solid line out. Drive is on.
Yeah.
Skeldon with it.
Yeah, get out now, one. Get out.
They're making the yard slowly but surely.
Don't grab her. Yeah, that's one snap.
Still going. Ireland were looking to shunt them towards the touchline. And here comes Mattinson. Nelson, pass to Thompson on the angle. Penalty Ireland. Niamh Jones.
So quick, so quick.
Two, first person.
Defensive line-up so quick there that Scotland had no option but just to take it, and she was right there. The space was out wide, but Scotland couldn't get the ball out there. Niamh Jones, superb.
And Ireland just breathe a little sigh of relief.
This is the middle.
Under severe pressure there, but their hooker, the try scorer. See this here.
Play on.
So low, strong body position.
It's in the middle.
And now she throws in. Claimed by Friday. Edel McMahon carries forward. Cocky, that's loose. Little step from Irwin.
Yeah, wait here, 5. Stay.
No messing about from Cocky. Campbell claims it. She tries to go on the outside. Gets past Aoife Doyle. And then thumped by Monaghan.
Lovely play though by Shona, really good awareness.
No, it's not out.
Here's Wassel. Shugang needs to get out there.
2 has to get out of the way. 2's impact of the halfback has to roll.
You hear the ref there, it's Niamh Jones,
2 needs to roll.
the hero a few moments ago. Now the guilty party.
Scotland just got to build this pressure. Stay composed. Good line-out calls.
Here goes.
This was the little run by Campbell. You see the dummy
Lovely,
there.
lovely footwork, and just constantly looking absolutely great.
She's been another find in this Six Nations. Brian Eason's talked about getting younger players ready for the World Cup, and she's been a real good performer for Scotland.
Yeah,
here they go.
now.
Skeldon has it under her arm again. This time they're making yards quicker. Ireland are all at sea.
Same ball. Brought down by
Scotland
Blue.
shift it back. Here's Nelson. Looks to step inside. She's wrapped up quickly though. Ireland up again, and there's the spill.
Yep,
Molly Wright
Green.
dives on it.
Knock on. Still in. It's still in.
Scotland still have the ball. Still alive.
Someone's mic's on, guys. Yeah, new advantage. 8 offside.
Penalty advantage. Scotland exerting pressure, but they need points. Bonner around the corner.
Still under advantage.
Nelson puts the little kick in. The advantage is coming, but Lloyd's there lurking. It's dealt with by Molly Scuffle-McCabe, but will come back for the penalty for offside.
Put the ball down. I'm just getting the mark.
Good patience there by Scotland.
Yeah. Yeah. 8 offside.
Is this a points taking?
Pillar, eh?
I think if I was in that position, I think that would be a good decision. I think.
What are we doing, Blue? Oh, yeah.
50-minute mark, 8-5 down.
Got called.
And that is the call.
Yep. So you've got to be 10 from the original mark.
Great take by Emma Wassel there.
No,
there was really good organisation.
So this is, you can go back from the mark. The mark is just here. Right. You've already brought the tee out, so you need to kick the touch. Yeah, I've just said that. I've just said that to them. Now, you need to kick the touch, guys. You've already brought the tee on. You can't change it.
This was the little dink from Nelson. It was worth trying with the advantage being played. We saw against Wales one that bounced up and right into the arms of Rona Lloyd. So
that's right.
Worth a try, and now she'll try her luck at the posts. Missed the conversion, Helen Nelson, but over 100 points for Scotland. An assured kicker. Can she bring Scotland level? She can. A fine strike from Helen Nelson. And we're all square.
Good decision. Great strike by Helen. Well done.
I'd like to say he looks happier, but composed. Brian Eason, the Scotland head coach. It's been a good start.
Yeah, I think definitely the message would be more of the same. The kicks through the variety and the use of the release ball and using the wider channels. Yep. Ireland's wings are relatively inexperienced, so again, like to see Scotland's back three more involved.
First job is to claim the restart, and Scotland do that successfully, but they've also got a penalty. Ireland offside again.
Offside. Just behind me, Frankie? Yeah. 4. Timing or never on, Frankie?
Christy Haney, the Irish prop, needing
4,
some treatment.
Never onside. Yeah.
Yeah, the referee Maggie Cogger-Orr from New Zealand. Obviously, the World Cup in New Zealand this year. This is their first Six Nations, gaining more experience ahead of that. I think the final selections are in May, so good luck to her.
Yeah, she took charge of her first ever Six Nations game last week. France's victory over Wales. As Haney becomes the latest to get some strapping applied. Zhugang getting some treatment there as well. Let's get the thoughts on this start to the second half from Megan Kennedy. Megan, what have you made of it?
A much better second half from Scotland. I think they've come out with a lot more intent, and you can see that by getting points on the board already. They've just had a lot more territory, looked a lot more threatening, and put Ireland under a lot more pressure. It's almost like roles are reversed going into the second half, which is very positive to see for Scotland.
Thank you, Megan. You see Niamh Briggs there. What a water carrier to have with her experience, the Ireland assistant coach.
Fantastic, yeah. 62 caps for Ireland, an outstanding kicker, outstanding fullback, an assistant coach now for Ireland.
Time's on. 4 offside.
Scotland up the pitch. Thompson, who's been fantastic with those kicks from hand throughout the tournament, gets Scotland up the park again. Malcolm takes it. Another big hit from McMahon. And again from Jones. Here's Sarah Law. Back to another ferocious hit. Campbell taking the brunt of it again. This one from Sini Naupu.
No, don't play the half.
Wassel, Nelson. There's numbers on the outside. If Belisle can get it free, she's still going, Christine Belisle. Nelson. Skeldon claims the ball, goes forward. And it's a penalty to Ireland.
For me. Body's in the way.
Guess who it is?
After making a crunching hit, she then goes and wins the penalty, Niamh Jones.
So quick, so quick. Scotland's attack there really coming on, and I think it's just the last pass into the wider channels. That corner of the defence is still quite narrow for Ireland, so if Scotland can just get it, that one pass extra out to the wider channels.
You gotta try, you gotta try.
This was the chance here. You see Belial, there are numbers out there, but it's she was
Hannah O'Connor was difficult, but still I think Scotland, if we can think along those lines.
Jones spawners in there, disrupting, goes forward off her hand. Advantage Ireland.
Yeah, that's messy, guys. It's knocked on in the line out by blue. Green scrum. Yeah, it's a knock on in the line out, your scrum. Just here, guys, in 15, knock on in the line out.
It's certainly been competitive at the line out.
Yep, Sarah Brunner working hard there.
Ireland, of course, the only team in the Six Nations not to be at the World Cup in the autumn. Obviously losing to Scotland and Spain in the qualifiers.
So they're coming at this Six Nations in a different light from Scotland.
Yeah, well, they had 62 the current team and ex-professionals writing to the government saying they'd lost faith in the IRFU, their ability to take the women's game forward, trying to rebuild, and they've done pretty well in this Six Nations so far, and certainly if they can get a win here and a fourth place finish, that would be a job well done, particularly with all those players, 7 in total, going off to play sevens for the final 2 matches.
Yes, there was 30 recommendations that came out of that, and they're moving forward with that, new posts, etc.
Scotland though with a penalty.
Superb.
Not staying square, who said? Just here. Not staying square, loose head.
So Linda Zhugang at number 1 saying you have to scrum square and straight, so therefore being penalised for not doing that.
Scotland with good field position once more.
Okay.
They got 3 points on their last visit.
Time's off, subs. 10 and 11, blue, subs.
You hear there, it's going to be Sarah Law and
there we are, Rachel,
Shona Campbell
and Emma Wassell. They know how important. That's an important scrum for Scotland.
There we go, there's Megan Gaffney.
Right?
Is on for Shona Campbell, and Emma Orr is on as well for Sarah Law. So Helen Nelson will probably be going back to fly half with Emma Orr in the centre and Lisa Thompson inside her at 12.
She's all right, so water off. Let's go. We'll carry on. Okay.
And Gaffney on the wing.
Emma Orr from Biggar on her 3rd cap. It's done really well for her first 6 Nations and hoping to make an impact here.
Yeah, just turned 19 a few weeks ago. On to make an impact in the final 23 minutes or so. Claimed.
Yeah, down
Skeldon back to Mattinson. Thompson whips it out. Nelson looks for the long pass. It's a bit scrappy, but Scotland still have it. Lovely from Rowley. Steps back inside, taken down by Cockey. And there's a penalty, not rolling away Ireland.
You got to be out before she goes for the ball. I wasn't even over. You're in the way.
Nikki Cockey protesting her innocence there, but I think it was pretty clear.
Shot called.
Points is the call again.
And Helen Nelson's going to take that. It was a superb pass out wide. Megan Gaffney run the short line. Really good feet here from Chloe.
For me, it's I've seen you guys come down with it. Yeah, and I have checked with my air as well. You're actually 1 step in if you do.
Megan there working hard.
Yeah, right in at the ruck, Megan Gaffney.
We'll just, yeah.
Nikki Cockey has to roll away and wasn't doing so.
Nelson to give Scotland the lead again. Clean strike, 3 points. Scotland leads 11-8 in Belfast.
Yep. Yeah, time's off, guys. Green subs.
Our last 2 kicks, full of purpose, excellent.
10 and 3.
Ireland making a couple of subs as well.
Are those subs done? Okay, yeah,
Michelle Claffey's on. Maggie Cogger-Orr's off. Christy Haney also off. And Katie O'Dwyer, the prop, comes on. Claimed by Gallagher, has some space to run into. Met by Monaghan.
Yeah. Wait here, guys. Just
Nelson
wait.
kicks
Stop.
long.
5. Stop.
She's found space. That's a good kick. Irwin's left scrambling. How's the chase? Irwin chips over. Claimed by Thompson.
Come back, Blue.
Nelson puts boot to ball again,
9,
and again
stop,
she's
stop,
found
9.
some open
Stop
prairie.
moving. Thank you.
Scuffle McCabe gets back under pressure from Lloyd. Ireland look to play their way out, but Scotland scramble. Emma Orr makes the tackle.
Wait here, Green. Touched.
Lana Skelman doing some excellent work at slowing down Ireland's ball at the breakdown.
Here goes Rowley. Spots the gap, and she's brought down.
That's.
And it's lost forward, but it's
You're offside.
illegally.
You're allowed to play the ball, but you're offside.
Ireland encroaching. Naopu.
13's not in an onside position.
And is
What are we
this
doing?
in Helen Nelson's range?
Okay. Shot. We just need to be very careful with this because so you're calling shot. Okay.
Yeah, she's going to have a go.
Why not?
Yeah. Nope,
Big hit from Sini Naopu. But then she gets back up and she comes in the side, you can see there.
She's shaking her head. She knows this is a crucial time in the match. 61 minutes on the clock, 11-8 to Scotland.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Perfect, thank you. Got a number, tempo.
Well, she's kicked the last 2, Helen Nelson. This is the most difficult one so far. In terms of distance of the last couple. It's not the cleanest of strikes, but it's over.
Outstanding Helen Nelson. What a fabulous kick. That's really, really stretching it. Well done.
Great distance. And Scotland eke out a 6-point advantage in Belfast.
Time's off. Subs.
Exactly what they should be doing. Taking the opportunity. Well done, Helen. Well done. Lisa Thompson playing a role there too.
Time's off.
40-second cap for Helen Nelson, experienced player.
There's the Ayr. I think there's maybe a tour or something from Ayr. Where they've got the Scottish supporters from Ayr RFC. So hi to you.
Gallagher has been assured under those restarts for Scotland, claims another one.
Wait here. Wait here.
Thompson, and that's a huge kick from Lisa Thompson, claimed by O'Connor. Shows a little dummy. Zhugang Monaghan. McMahon gets the extra pass away to Claffey. Monaghan again. McMahon. And Molly Wright's in there. She's over the ball and wins the penalty.
Same picture as your two over there. She's on the ball lifting.
Just that,
it's the same
the face
picture as
beforehand,
your two over there.
her chat and defence is
body,
absolutely
can't access the
fantastic.
ball.
She's calm, she's constantly talking to the people at either side of her, and really, really good over the ball, winning the penalty there.
Just back here, 15.
Born in New Zealand, she'll be looking forward to the World Cup and having her seeing her family and hopefully coming to watch her.
Homecoming.
Indeed, from Reefton. I don't know it, but that's where she's from. Started playing rugby at the age of 4.
Time's off.
You can see
Subs.
there.
Just a second. 1 sub.
Scotland would finish above
We're getting time's off. We're getting
Ireland
a sub.
on points difference at this stage with this result, and avoid a wooden spoon.
Okay. Okay, time's on. Stay.
And that one's loose, unfortunately for Scotland.
So the
Let's get the thoughts
over,
of
so it's
Colin Gregor.
Out of the line out, so the
Colin, what have you made of Scotland's ability to eke out a little lead so far?
Particular carried really effectively. Molly Wright winning a couple of key turnovers, and just the experience around playing in the right areas. They've just built pressure through territory, and they're taking points when the points are on offer, which is so important. A couple of great kicks from Helen Nelson, and it's a strong position going into these last 15 minutes.
Indeed, is Ireland.
Angle, loose head. Angle, loose head. Loose head, angle.
It's a penalty. Just allows Ireland to relieve some pressure.
Time's off. 6, 7, subs. This is the middle, so the AR is going to be the middle, so you step off. 6 and 7, subs. We'll just get them off, girls. Time's off.
Ireland make another few changes. It's Grace Moore on.
Okay.
Maeve
Time's
O'Leary. Ireland looking to get out of their half for the first time in a while, when they're under pressure again, but it's a knock-on from a blue jersey.
It's the knock-on advantage. Great.
Here's Moore. Ball back inside for O'Dwyer. Jones still going.
Don't push it into her. Advantage over. Wait, 9.
Kick goes in from Breen. It's claimed by Chloe Rowley. Stands up, stops, goes again. Mattinson gets it away, but Ireland so quick off the mark in defence. Looking to make it difficult for Scotland to exit.
Let's get the timing right here. Use it. Wait.
Mattinson puts the ball up. Here goes Enya Breen. Ireland looking to counter-attack. Nice step from Hannah O'Connor, still going. O'Dwyer gets the offload away. Claffey managed to make a few metres. Monaghan
Yeah, advantage on this side of the ball.
Here's now Opu, and she forced the offload, and Aoife Doyle knocks on.
Can I get a mark? Just here. Keep coming to you. Sorry, I'm just getting a mark.
But it looks like we'll be
9 offside.
going for a penalty here to Ireland.
Shot.
And a chance to reduce the deficit back to 3 points.
They're taking the shot, mate, so you'll be all right there, okay? Is she going to be in your way, or? Okay.
Some good hands there by Ireland. Hannah O'Connor,
9
really
offside.
good feet,
9
looking,
offside.
seeing where the space was, and
Timing or never
Katie
offside?
O'Dwyer just come on, managed to get the offload away, really good.
Okay, you get me. Whoa. We need a call here, guys. What are we doing? It's fine, mate. It's all right. We did it. I gave one to them.
Tanya Breen has the ball in her hands. And it doesn't look like they're taking the points this time. Obviously think 6 point deficit. 12 to go. They got a rolling maul try in the first half. And they'll back themselves again.
Good kick there by Anya Breen.
Here's the middle, guys.
Can Ireland get their forwards moving?
Friday's
It's claimed by Friday. They're making early yardage. Urged on by Dane. Scotland holding firm. Use it, says the referee. Dane trying to get it off Zhugang. Eventually gets it off the prop. Here goes Claffey.
Release!
Friday. This is as close as Ireland have been in this second half to Scotland's line. O'Dwyer. O'Connor. Scotland holding firm so far. Jones met by Skeldon, her opposite number. Can't get the ball back. They do now. Here they come again, Ireland. The crowd roars them on. O'Connor. Wide from Dane. Here's Breen. Checks back inside. Scotland creaking, but still standing. Zhugang.
Tackle!
O'Dwyer.
Tackle now!
Backed up by teammates. It's wide. Monaghan with the offload. Breen with the pass on. It's now Doyle. Can she finish? Scragged down by Gaffney. Ireland desperate to get over this try line. Scotland repelling them just now. Leah Bartlett, the replacement prop, makes the tackle. Wide, Monaghan. Big carry. Slow ball. Scotland claim it's theirs, it is. What a defensive set from Scotland.
There's no one on the
And
ground,
Sarah Bonner takes the acclaim.
Every single one of the Scotland team there should be congratulating each other. That was fantastic. The work rate, the absolute result with not giving away penalties. Megan Gaffney's work on the left wing there, superb. Line speed, low body positions, excellent.
Yeah, let's go, guys.
Sam Monaghan's stretching that calf, which ruled her out of last week, so concern for Ireland. Delight for Scotland as they survived that onslaught.
Good kick there by Lisa Thompson. Yeah,
Here's the
superb.
middle, you're on the line, okay? Yeah, so you're on the line. That's you guys here on the line.
This was the defensive set.
Good cover there. That was Louise McMillan, excellent cover.
Yeah, she's off the bench, McMillan. Wassell does the job, gets the chest pass away. Here is McMillan. She's made an impact. Ireland are creeping up there, but
lucky not to be called offside there.
Mattinson. Here's Bartlett.
Watch that back here.
Good strong carry.
Yeah, wait here.
Back to Nelson. Oh, it's charged down by Jones, and Jones is heading after it. Is it going to fall for the Ireland hooker? Emma Orr's back there to pounce on it for Scotland. But it was carried over, and so Ireland will have the scrum 5 metres out.
Fantastic foot race there, and Emma Orr really working hard to get back.
First scrum, Green.
Helen's kick just charged down by Niamh Jones.
The issue is it has to be at least 5.
She's had an incredible game, Niamh Jones.
She has really, her work rate. There it is, 73 minutes and sprinting like that. Fantastic. Great work by Emma Orr.
On a dry day, that might have stopped short of the line, Emma Orr, but she just slides over. Unfortunately, that means Ireland will have a fantastic chance. Big scrum. Ireland hold. Will they put the squeeze on? No, they take it. Mattinson does really well to dive right on O'Connor. And it's a penalty to Scotland, I think.
It's not the picture I'm saying. Holding on. You've dropped your bind for me. For me, your shoulders have come off as she's come on. Holding on.
Hannah O'Connor politely disagreeing with the referee, but Maggie Cogger-Orr having none of it.
She knows how crucial this is. 74 minutes in.
Just here, guys. Our ball. Here's the middle, guys. I've seen it go out. We'll use me. So that's the middle. So you come this side. Here, take a step.
She was talking about when she's allowed to be, Katie Masson's allowed to tackle her, and whether her shoulders are still engaged in the scrum.
Important line out for Scotland. Ireland disrupt, but it falls for Bonner. Niamh Jones again. Just relentless work from the hooker. And then the counter ruck comes in, and it's a knock on.
Ball's out. The ball has come out of the, like it's bounced off your player and is out.
Ferocious intensity in defence from Ireland. They want this 4th place. They want to win this game.
Time's off. Sub 9. Green.
Good pressure there by Sam Monaghan at the line out as well on Emma Wassell. And then relentless at the breakdown there. Harring right through.
Is that sub done?
Hannah O'Connor's work rate's outstanding too.
Okay. Yep, time's on.
Well, Ireland have been down here for a while. They've not come away with points. They opted to turn down the posts earlier. Didn't pay off.
Crouch.
Scotland holding firm.
Early push.
Early push from Scotland. Free kick. O'Connor taps and goes. O'Dwyer. Ailsa Hughes now on at scrum half for Ireland. Gets it away to Friday. Hughes to Breen. Jones. Another huge carry.
Let it come. Don't hold her in, Green.
Ireland edging closer. We're inside the final minute and a bit. Ireland knocking at the door. It's wide. Here's Doyle, she's got Scuffle McCabe on the outside, but Scotland scramble, the foot's in touch, and another huge effort from Scotland to keep Ireland at bay.
Great patience, well done Rona Lloyd there, absolutely excellent defence on the right wing. Working hard and just teamwork getting them out.
They're getting out of the way and the ball's available. You
bounced off one.
Holding someone in, so you've got to be really careful because that can go against.
And it's Helen Nelson helping her teammate out. Fantastic defence there. Lisa Thompson in hand as well.
Can I just get the time check, guys?
Yeah. Rona's celebrating that quite rightly so. Well done, Rona.
Okay, yeah.
And Rachel Malcolm is taking a sore one here.
I think she's played exceptionally this championship. Real captain's role. Her work rate in attack and defence has been outstanding.
Yeah, a real leader for the team. Craig McWilliams watching on, the Ireland coach.
Good. Okay. Water off, guys. Here's the middle, guys. It's just here. This is the middle. Time's on.
The dangers.
Well, let's set these numbers, guys. Check the numbers.
Not done for Scotland though, especially in these conditions. They go back to Wassell, the safe option, they get it. Gallagher smashed by Jones, who else? Back to Bartlett, who just about stops herself from going over the line. Ireland are not about to let Scotland out of here easy. Mattinson puts the box kick up. It's in touch, but Ireland relentless in their pressure.
I know it's set now. Yep, that's the middle.
Well done, Katie Matheson. That was a pressure kick.
Perfect, thank you.
It's tense. 2 minutes left. Scotland with a 6-point advantage, which means if Ireland do score a try, they need the conversion to win the game and stop themselves from taking the wooden spoon. It would be a first since 2004 for them. But it's still on for the home side. Hughes digs it out. Friday, the captain. Jugang. Huge hit from Gallagher. Well, Hughes wasn't quite sure where it was, and she's under pressure from Belisle. Knock on off Scotland.
Yeah, that's messy. It's forward off blue in the tackle. Green scrum. Green scrum. Yeah, yeah.
This is a good chance for Ireland with a scrum in a fairly central position. They could go either way here.
Yeah, we'll go time off so we don't waste it for you. It's going to be your scrum here. Knock on in the tackle.
Scotland's defence really, really, really working so well together.
Yep.
Just work rate is outstanding, really outstanding. Niamh Jones, credit to her. She's really, really harrowing the Scotland defence.
So I think the first one is, for me,
Gallagher's battered and bruised.
Back, so the first movement early for me is you guys. Okay. So I can see what you're saying, but for me, the first people to go early is you guys need to hold after the hit. Okay. Does that make sense? Yeah. Is she all right? Yep. Good.
And this will surely be Ireland's last chance. They need a converted score to win.
Mum, is it here? Yeah, it's just here. So we
there
just
will be
hit and hold.
No draw.
Okay, time's on. Yeah, a little
Scotland
bit,
with one final job to do to get their first win of the 2022 TikTok Women's Six Nations.
Crouch. Listen. Sit. Bind. Set. 1, 2, 3. Roll, Linda. Roll, Linda.
Here we go, Ireland secure the ball. Hughes to Breen. Claffey. Clock ticks towards the red zone. Monaghan.
Thank you.
Jones.
Yeah, advantage.
Relentless all night. Advantage up
tackle.
Ireland. They will have the penalty. Still they come.
We'll keep playing.
Irwin. Claffey
You got to keep playing,
into
mate.
Scotland's
Time's up
22.
anyway.
Gallagher tries to hold her up.
Yeah, we'll come back. Time's up anyway. So, yeah.
The clock's in the red. Ireland have the penalty. They need the converted
Just
try.
the penalty. Yeah. So it's last play, guys. It's last play, but obviously we can have the line out. The time is up.
They're going for the corner. Enya Breen lines it up. They will have one last opportunity. It's tense.
Nicola Friday's their go-to jumper.
Time's up now.
Scotland have to mark her.
Any little error from Ireland and it's done.
Just there.
Scotland can't get the ball. Friday has it. The maul. Heaves forward. Niamh Jones has it again. Scotland just about holding things up. Ireland get the shove on again. It's edging forward. Scotland in trouble. Jones still has it. They're still going. Scotland piling in.
Not down by Green. Down by Green.
Scotland surviving just about.
Let it come.
Can Ireland find a way through? O'Leary tries.
Hatcher, stay up.
Hughes. They're near the post. This is where Ireland want to be. It's where they need to be. Scotland still holding firm. What an effort this is from both teams. Niamh Jones smashed by Bonner. Breen looks for the pass out wide. It's shut down. She takes the contact. Friday. Hit.
Hands up.
Backwards. Still we play on. 3 minutes past the 80. Ireland still going.
No.
They go wide, it's Shugang. Here's Enya Breen for the line. Is she over? Has she got there? She has. Ireland with a try and the kick to come to win the match. Scotland's brave defence breached. Shattering for Brian Eason's side. Enya Breen, the player to barge her way over. And she will have the kick to deny Scotland a first win.
Just that pop from Jugang. Some outstanding defence from Scotland, just phenomenal, just amazing defence. But just that pop, finding that little hole, and driving through.
And crucially, it's just outside the posts.
No, 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 no. It's part of the setup. I'll put my hand down.
Enya Breen to convert her own try to win the match for Ireland. It's over. Heartbreak for Scotland, sheer joy for Ireland. Enya Breen's try and conversion at the death as the exact revenge for the late defeat in the World Cup playoffs. It's finished in Belfast. Ireland 15, Scotland 14.
So tough. Congratulations to Ireland. But Scotland can be so proud of that defensive effort at the end and some of the attacking play as well. Well done, Nicola Friday, Ireland captain. Enya Breen, Scotland, fantastic try.
A cruel end for Scotland. Congratulations to Ireland, though. That's the end of the Women's Six Nations. Thank you very much for joining us. Until next time, good night.